All right, it's that time again, Pony Wars.
We're going to modify 3 2019 pony cars, then pit them against each other at the Autocross, the drag strip, and braking in Dyno, and see which one comes out on top. This year, the teams get one chance to compete. After 10K of mods and a Procharger of their choice, and this year, we're adding a third contestant.
So with our help from Arrington Performance, Vengeance Racing, and of course our friends from Ford Next, we're gonna see who is the champion of this year's 2019 Pony Wars. Are you ready? Is it gonna be a repeat? Let's see.
Basically, here's the deal.
This is gonna be a competition, and we are coming to win.
We're delirious. Dude, this smells like grape jelly.
I'm going to be leading you through the build of the 2019 Camaro SS. This thing makes 455 horsepower out of the box out of its 6.2-liter V8. It's got an automatic 10-speed in it, direct injection, variable valve timing, and displacement on demand.
All right, after the builds are done, we're gonna head to Vegas. And what goes on in Vegas, for once, is gonna get shared. We're gonna put them on the Autocross. We're gonna put them through testing on 60-0 on braking. Then we're gonna take them to the drag strip. Finally, we're gonna strap them to the dyno and find out which one does really make the most power. All right, Chad, we've spent some time talking about the cars and what we think's gonna win, but let's not forget to talk about the teams. Now, my boys, Vengeance Racing, out of Georgia, Ron Moen. You wanna go 6s, 5s, 4s, 3s? You wanna go 225 miles an hour? You know they got you covered.
Impressive, but don't forget that my Ford Next crew out here has been building really fast drag cars for a while.
Well, what's Petty got to say?
Hey, my boys at Arrington, they know exactly how to put a performance engine together, and Mike Copeland is heading up the entire thing. We're going to find out more about his team and the Challenger build in the next episode.
Well, it's true. 3 great teams, 3 great cars.
We'll see who's going to win this thing.
And when did 225 not become fast? Now, before the builds, what we're going to do is have all the cars baseline modded and dyno tested for power.
After that, we are going to give each person a $10,000 build budget based on Summit Racing equipment pricing, along with the Procharger kit of their choice for their application. Now, all of them are gonna run on VP race fuels. All of them are gonna be running Toyo tires. They'll have their choice of 2 ultra high performance tires on the Autocross and braking, and then everybody will be running the TQ out on the drag strip.
Now, there's gonna be no supplemental fueling, and the guys can't run nitrous, and they can't do any machine work on the motor, but they can do drop-in, say, rod pistons. And by the way, they can lighten the cars, but not by much. They can throw the jack and the spare tire in the garbage. Also, all 3 cars have to run a full exhaust.
Now, all the parts have to be off the shelf. There can be no one-off custom parts used in this build, and if they break it, they buy it. If the team breaks any part, they have to repair it and replace it under their own budget, under their own money. But if they can't make the repairs in time to make it to the competition, then they're getting 0 points.
The points will be awarded in 4 basic categories: drag racing, autocross, 60-0 braking, and of course, the dyno number. All right, let's go over some of the baseline mods that we're gonna be doing on both of our cars. Now, for the 2019 SS Camaro, I'm gonna start with a K&N cold air intake with that tried and true washable and reusable air filter that I think both of us even have on our own personal car.
Of course.
From there, we're gonna be using Corsa stainless headers. Now, the flanges are laser cut. They're 1 7/8 primary with a 3-inch collector, and that'll dump into a Corsa full stainless exhaust with 2 3/4-inch pipe and beautiful black tips.
Now this is what it sounds like after the Corsa exhaust.
That's got a little throat to it.
That sounds much, much better. Okay, that was a full pull. 432, 447. Beat the torque by 50 over the Mustang, but we've got you by 10 on power.
What were your horsepower again?
442. You're at 432.
And look at the torque curve. It's probably,
dude, it's
making more torque from top to bottom.
Let's just go with 5,000 RPM and look at the 388 foot-pounds on the Mustang and the 437 on the Camaro.
I wonder if that's probably the operating range in, say, Autocross or...
You know, that's what I was thinking.
Not even close. These things have such a low first gear. You can run one of these cars at 20 miles an hour at 7,500. So
what it will be, though, is the 2 car lengths out in front of that Mustang before it gets into peak power.
Yeah, see, we know. Basically, here's the deal.
This is going to be a competition, and we are coming to win.
We're delirious.
It's about time to get started. Myself and Team Vengeance are going to take this 2019 Camaro SS and whoop some ass. That's a simple plan. Let's get started.
Team Camaro is taking a straightforward approach to winning. Make power and lots of it.
God, this thing is tight under here.
Ron from Vengeance has spent much of his $10,000 budget into some stout engine mods with some light suspension mods to make the car a bit more autocross friendly. A complete LT4 fuel systems brings the SS up to Z01 specs, which will be pushed to the limit with a D1X Procharger. A comp cam, LME ported heads, and drop-in piston rod combo from Molly and Molnar should make some serious power. Just the springs, sway bars, and control arms will be upgraded to BMR pieces.
Nothing like taking apart a 299-mile engine. Happens every day at Vengeance Racing.
All right, it's my chance to introduce you to the team that's going to be taking the Camaro to the front. It is Team Vengeance. Now, Ron, why don't you introduce the team and who we have with us today?
Dennis, I brought with me Josh Langlis and Taylor Norris, 2 of our technicians from Vengeance Racing. These guys spend their days building LS and LT platform vehicles day in and day out, 6, sometimes 7 days a week.
Well, these guys certainly know what they're doing, and I'm going to let these 2 go and do what they do best while you and I take a look at this engine. Thanks, guys, so much. I want to ask you, what is, in your opinion, the state of Chevrolet in performance?
You know, the LT1 is still new to us a little bit. We've stayed tried and true to the LS market, now obviously the LT market, but always loyal to General Motors. It's one of those things I felt like I would rather be great at one thing than good at many. Our customer base ranges from a guy that wants simple bolt-ons to a guy that wants a 1,500 horse street car that he can daily drive.
Even I got a chance to help you tear the car down, but you guys have already noticed some changes.
We saw that the factory LT1 fuel pump is a complete redesign, as is the connector.
It really comes down to how's it going to stack up against our competition?
Well, you know, Dennis, all 3 of the big manufacturers have done an amazing job putting out awesome vehicles the past couple of years. It's like we're reliving the 60s and 70s all over again. That being said, I tend to live life looking forward, not in the rear view, so I can't tell you wholeheartedly how the Mustang and Challenger stack up with the aftermarket because the Camaro is always out in front.
Well said. Well, Ron, let's take a look at some of these parts, but before we do that, you give me the overall strategy for our Camaro.
The strategy is simple, and that's to win, okay? We came out here to win, and we want to dominate every event that we possibly can. We feel like we can make the most horsepower with the LT. So that should take the Dyno Wars. We feel like we can take the drag racing as well. The car just works with this package we put together for it. Forced induction, stock driveline for the most part with that A10 trans and converter, fueling to support the modifications, and then a host of BMR suspension to get us around the autocross.
All right, Ron, one of the things I want to talk about first is these Molly pistons. Now, one of the things that I do not have is experience with direct injection. And you really kind of gave me a quick know-how on why these pistons are different. I mean, besides the fact that they got the Vengeance Racing on it, but maybe take me through what makes these different and why they're so important to a build like this.
Well, number one, the LT1 was not designed for forced induction. And what we found through our research on previous vehicles is about 650 wheel horsepower, you can actually start to crack the ring lands on the factory pistons. So we reached out with Molly and worked with their engineers to design a forged piston that we could drop in without rebalancing the rotating assembly that would give us the strength and durability to make the power that we want with no concerns there. What you mentioned here, the biggest difference on these DI engines is there's a fuel bowl. And what that does is the chamber, since we have a DI fuel injector, it's spraying directly into the combustion chamber now at about 3,000 PSI. So that fuel actually hits this fuel bowl and atomizes in the cylinder versus just spraying on the cylinder wall itself and wearing it over time.
Well, one of the things I want to do is talk about this camshaft. Now, we got this out earlier, and this is the key right here to more fuel. Walk me through this.
Basically what you see here is the fuel pump lobe on the camshaft itself. This is going to drive that mechanical LT4 fuel pump upgrade that we're going to put in. Comp has engineered this to be 32% larger than stock. So that's going to drive that pump effectively 32% greater capacity than it does in stock form and give us more fuel system supply.
Well, we got to put more fuel in it. We got to deliver more fuel, and that's where this stuff comes in. LT4 pump, LT4 injectors, that's drop-in, correct?
Correct.
And then you're using a ZL1 pump, and there's a reason behind that because really it's kind of plug and play, and it's already forced induction.
Absolutely, yeah. The ZL1 pump is plug and play, designed by General Motors for a forced induction vehicle, but it'll bolt right into the naturally aspirated 2019 Camaro as well. And then the LT4 injectors, again, plug and play. With the lack of aftermarket in the fuel system upgrades for the DI market, GM's already done it for us. We've got probably 40% greater fuel capacity with these items right here than we do with what came in the car stock.
It's all about the cylinder heads. Now, this is going to be the big 1-2 punch when it comes to this motor making power. Take me through the difference between this stock LT1 head and these LME supplied CNC ported heads.
Well, we've worked with late model engines for years. Brian and his guys are just on point. They deliver a consistent quality product that works very well for us. We use their CNC cylinder heads for many reasons. The CNC work is going to provide additional airflow. It's going to make some more power. In factory form, the exhaust ports from GM do not flow as well as we would like, especially in a big supercharged application. So we've got CNC'd exhaust ports, CNC'd intake ports. They come equipped with a dual valve spring setup with titanium retainers, all the hardware we need for that aftermarket camshaft and to turn additional RPM. We also have reshaped combustion chambers, as well as CNC chambers. And then most importantly, we got away from the stock two-piece exhaust valve, going to a single stainless exhaust valve, which, as you know, with forced induction, higher temperatures, increased cylinder pressures, we don't want to risk any sort of exhaust valve failure in this competition.
Well, really, all these parts and your experience and your team's experience comes down to one thing. We're going to win.
Exactly. We didn't come here to play. We came here to win.
Enough said.
Those are the Monar connecting rods. This is their 6125 Power Adder series for LS engines. Let's step up here to the comp cam real quick.
That's right, you were showing me this. This is a lot about the fuel pump lobe.
Correct.
At the front of the, or the back of the cam.
Increases the output by 32%. You couple that with the upgraded LT4 pump, and now we got plenty of fuel for what we're trying to do.
And let's talk about these pistons really quick.
Yeah.
Now, this was a big thing. You were telling me that a lot of it was the weak link with the heat and pressure with the power adder.
Correct. What we've done in testing with these is, with the LT1 in general, you can go to about 650 wheel horsepower forced induction before you start cracking ring lands.
Okay.
So we needed something simplified for our customers when they come in and they want to supercharge and they want to make 750, 800 wheel without doing a full-out engine build, without sending it out to the machine shop, things of that nature. So we worked with the engineers at Moly and developed a piston that could be dropped in with an aftermarket forged rod. So you got a forged rod, forged piston, heavier duty pin, no balancing, no machine work required. So now we got a short block that's good for 1,000, 1,200 horsepower, and we can assemble it in-house. Customer can assemble it in his garage if he chose to.
I mean, no matter how much you got going into the engine, how much you got coming out of the engine, a lot of it has to do with the cylinder head as far as efficiency, what it can actually flow. You guys made some really big improvements on these as far as your teaming up with LME.
Yeah, definitely. Brian and the guys at LME, they're just nothing short of phenomenal. Constantly deliver a consistent product for us. We've been using all of their LT cylinder heads since they developed the program, actually. We worked with them on a few different programs early on, started making some real good power with them, and we've been using them ever since.
We've saved some of our Summit budget for suspension, but the bulk of it can be found in the engine. We've already talked about the big ticket items from Comp, LME, Moly, Total Seal, and Molnar, but we also upgraded a lot of smaller components as well.
Chevy Performance LS7 lifters with LME's DOD delete plugs and VVT delete timing cover, a Cloy's Z single roller timing chain, Trick Flow push rods, GM LT4 head gaskets, high pressure fuel pump and feed pipe, Scogg & Dickey 160 degree thermostat, Vengeance Racing heat shields, catch can, and fuel pump fittings. All of that put together brings the total to $7,947.79 out of our $10,000 summit budget. All right, engine master.
Yeah.
Everything going all right?
Use that term loosely.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. So obviously gapping rings for the Molly pistons. Are we using a particular pack from Total Seal for a reason?
This is Total Seal's Chrome Molly ring set. Obviously great for the high performance applications. For those who don't know, the piston ring is what's creating your seal between the piston and the combustion chamber. And yeah, Total Seal provides a great product that we use through and through and never let us down yet.
The best parts. As this motor comes together, we got to get the cam in it. Ron, while I throw some Lucas Oil Assembly Lube on this for Josh, you take us through the camshaft.
Dennis, as you know, the camshaft is truly the heart of the engine. With forced induction, the specifications on the camshaft are extremely critical to get air in and air out and make the desired boost that we want to. Obviously, with this camshaft, we have removed the displacement on demand function that GM included in the engine, as well as the variable valve timing feature that this engine originally came equipped with. So we're getting rid of two variables that could be potential failure points with the high performance aspect of what we're trying to accomplish. So we're basically back to a standard Chevy small block LS type camshaft, if you will.
It's upside down. No, I just want to see if you look. I just want to see if you look. And there she be.
It's as simple as that, Dennis.
I love it.
We'll fasten this LME LT4 cylinder head down with the ARP fasteners, torque it up, and move to the other side.
We're way ahead. We're going to make way more power.
Well, we told you day one we'd be way ahead from the start through the finish. And we're starting off that way, and we're going to finish that way.
It's easy. I'm going to end every little thing. Winning.
Dennis, we use the Summit Racing LS Trunnion Upgrade Kit, and why is simple. It's right here. The needle bearings that GM incorporates into the stock stamped steel rocker, when they fail, they go all over the engine. We're going to replace those needle bearings with bushings. You press in this bushing, drop in the trunnion.
Well, you forgot the fun part is taking the socket and knocking the bearings all over the ground.
You know, I said replace. We can talk about breaking stuff too, because if you'll notice, Dennis, we have all the trunnions completed, and in an effort to keep you included in the build, we allotted this remedial shop utility guy, janitor level task.
That's me.
To you.
Yeah, and I screwed it up.
And you managed on the very last trunnion to booger up the bushing when you were pushing it in. So now, when we do our job, you would notice that it doesn't turn freely.
Want to turn.
Like these do. We're sure you did a fine job, but we'll look over everything and make sure they spin freely just in case.
This turns, air goes in through this thing on top, and we make power. It's tin rib. That's nice.
Ring it.
No, you're good, buddy.
Come back.
You're good.
Looking pretty.
Little update on what's going on. Ron and his team, engine's in. They got to connect with the bell housing. Pretty much rods, pistons are in. Heads are done. DOD's out. VVT's out. What's next on Team Camaro?
So we are going to do some button up, obviously get the engine bolted back to the transmission, engine mounts, get everything back in place, and then we'll start working through the harness, some of the accessories and things of that nature. And then we'll get to a point where we'll stop with some of the factory stuff and then roll into the Procharger installation itself. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon we'll be ready to make some noise.
Everybody thought in the beginning, because we'd be tearing, pistons and rods out of this thing, that we'd be the last ones to be done. That plan didn't work out for everybody.
No, I can't say that it did. Their engine bay would be empty if they didn't have a 6 foot tall guy standing in it.
That does help. I don't think they got a lot going on over there.
No, that's okay.
That's okay.
Let history be written by the victor, because we definitely finished first. We tore down and rebuilt an entire engine, all before Chad replaced one gear. And I tell you, if that's not winning, I don't know what is.
So today, each of us are kind of peeling off on a couple different jobs, and then we're gonna get some lawn chairs and watch the guys take one strut out of the Mustang.
I see Mr. Norris has got the fuel tank back in.
Oh yeah. Shit, well, I think we're gonna drive it out of the shop this afternoon at this rate.
Team Camaro has spent most of our money and got most of our work done. Almost $8,000 of our $10,000 budget. At the core of our suspension upgrades, we have BMR's cold wound linear lowering springs and hollow sway bars front and rear to balance the handling. We outfitted the rear with double adjustable tow rods, non-adjustable trailing arms, upper and lower, and control arms to remove the sloppy erratic handling from the factory parts. For good measure, we added the 2 chassis braces, one's for the front cradle and one is for the rear.
You can swing that up in there if you want.
So I'm basically like a talking jack stand is what I am. Why BMR? Why are we using their stuff on the car?
I mean, BMR is a leader in late model GM and a lot of other vehicles as well. The items we chose to go in this car were for straight line performance, to get rid of the stamped steel things that might flex with all the additional power we're gonna add, and then to really enhance the car in the Autocross section of the competition as well. Because we are portly 3,700 pounds, we need every advantage we can get to get around that Autocross effectively.
What you've picked as far as a kit, is it something that can do everything? What is it more leaning towards?
It's leaning more towards the Autocross. The car is going to work fairly well in a drag strip as it is. We've proven that, but basically what we did was put the car up in the air. We knew what sort of budget we were working with, and we went through the factory OE components and saw where the most prevalent weak links were, and looked at BMR's offerings and chose from there to upgrade the weak links.
All told, our BMR purchases used up only $1,559.60 out of our $10,000 Summit budget. Combined with our engine build and another $130 for a ZL1 fuel pump, Team Camaro's total comes to $9,637.88.
That's why we're gonna win. Motor's out in 2 hours, already doing bearings and checking for rod clearance and all that. All we gotta do is tighten up a few bolts, put a sway bar in the back. It's done. Winning. Hashtag winning.
I'd love to shoot the shit all day, but you got a lot of work to do.
No, my guys are handling it right now.
And that's part of the problem. See, Dennis, you've been
You
such
look
a...
over and it's 2 guys with the instructions.
FaceTime my kids. Hey guys, this is Chad.
Hey guys.
What do we say at home about Mustangs when we see them driving around?
They're what?
They crash.
They crash. I thought for a second they said they're crap, but I thought maybe not.
Well, that too.
Oh, if you build them, they don't, is what he said.
Correct.
I have to tell you, I think your dad is awesome, but I will beat him.
What do you think, Bryson?
No, you won't. Look at him.
Mustang?
You do have good cheerleaders.
I can tell you this. Look at this car. Look over there. Winning.
figured maybe we should polish this thing up, give it a little lug. You know, it's new, but it can always use a little wax job.
It's been sitting beside Mustang for a week, so it definitely needs clean.
Yeah, it needs that Mustang white dried off of it.
All right, well, it's time to put the crowning jewel on this 19 Camaro SS. It's reliable power. It's what these guys do each and every day. Well, I'm thinking two things. One, after we kick everybody's ass, what this thing's gonna make in power when you can go back and put some fun fuel in it.
Well, you know, honestly, I was thinking, since we're actually so damn far ahead of the Mustang guys, when we finish tuning on 93, we ought to just put some C16 in here and change the pulley. We have Procharger's optional 10 rib upgrade, so we can really let it eat right here and make a hell of a number just for the fun of it.
It might be a fun thing to do. Well, as Josh and Taylor wrap this thing up, I know we still have to do the Hawk pads and get some Toyos on there. The R888Rs are going to be something that we're looking forward to, and I know it's going to make it fun for you in the Autocross and the drag strip. So just a little bit of stuff to go with. I mean, it'd be fun. Those tires are a great combination of something you can use on a daily basis.
It's funny because when I found out we had the opportunity to run the Toyo 888 on this particular application, I was excited because every one of my cars for the past 5 years, I've always ran Toyo's latest variant of the 888R. It hooks, even in drag applications, it hooks amazingly well, but it's a very fun street tire, great cornering ability, you know, road course, autocross, things of that nature, but it doubles up as a good track tire as well. So we're super excited about that and looking forward to getting them on the car.
I guess. Ron, I know you got a lot of experience with Procharger and using them on their various builds you guys do, but why are we going with this, with the Vengeance Camaro?
It fit the rules of the build, which required us to stay air to air. So I actually chose Procharger's D1X head unit. They're much more efficient than the predecessors.
Okay.
So we went with the D1X, knowing it's got the potential to make 1,000+ wheel horsepower, and then, you know, win the drag strip and the dyno competition like we're here to do.
This, I'm really happy with. This came out awesome. Deceptively good match to the factory paint, but it really does make it pop.
All right, so it's Thursday afternoon. We're about 3.5 days into the build. This morning we've had a few button-up items with the Procharger, and now we're clean up, about to do fluids and initial test fire.
And just before we fire the car up for the first time, everyone on Team Camaro is about to find out if our week's worth of hard work will pay off. Everything checks out. It's time to oil up the car and turn the key.
All right, so initial startup was a perfect success. A little rough to get the fuel system primed, but once that was done, she fired up, purred like a kitten. We've got great oil pressure. I was logging with the Diablo Trinity tuner tool to make sure that all the parameters look good. And right now we're just getting a full heat cycle in the engine, and we're gonna go out and go for a drive here in a bit.
And that is a great, great sounding engine. After the initial startup, we rolled out of the garage to run it gently. Remember, these cars are no longer street legal, but a lap around the parking lot was sufficient for our purposes and thoroughly enjoyable as well.
This is the guy, right?
Coming in hot.
Mike's the best in the biz, but let's get to it. Hey, Ron.
I'm getting hungry, yeah.
Bring Mike over here. Tell him about him.
Well, Mike Carnahan has been our calibrator at Vengeance Racing for 13 years. Prior to that, he was a calibrator for a high-performance Chevrolet division, probably one of the most well-known and most well-respected Gen 5 LT tuners in the country as well at this point, as you'll see shortly when we hit the dyno.
Let's strap the Camaro down and see what kind of number we get.
To be clear, we aren't in competition mode yet. The numbers we see today are preliminary, and our main goal is to get good bass tunes into the cars so we're ready for the races in Vegas. That doesn't mean Team Camaro isn't going to flex a little bit and show Team Mustang we came to win.
This is what it's all about, getting this thing strapped down and seeing what it's gonna make on the dyno. Now, Taylor already put the VP fuel in it, but we gotta talk to Mike real quick.
to find out what his plan is. So take me through your basic process on tuning a car like this.
We use the Diablo Trinity to go ahead and write a couple of base tunes that we've already tested. We're going to make a few hits on the dyno, logging everything with the Trinity. We'll check those logs out and make the adjustments that we need. As long as fuel pressure looks good, boost looks good, we're going to keep a good eye on knock. If everything looks good, we're going to go ahead and run it up, and we're going to give it all it's got.
All we got to do is get Ron out of the out of the driver's seat, and then you and I can make some noise.
Ain't happening, Chief.
Never going to happen.
Okay, I'll just go watch the TV.
Please, thank you.
5,000. No, 6 years, 5,000.
All right, so first initial shakedown, what kind of adjustments are you going to make, or what did you see?
Air fuel was pretty close. It's a little lean. I'm probably going to richen it up a tad, and then we're going to make a few adjustments to the spark. Fuel pressure looks good. That first pull was only to 5,000 RPMs. We kind of just validate everything and make sure everything looks good, which it does. It's only going to go up from here.
I noticed that seat's empty. Oh, shit, there he is. Damn it.
We're still soft on timing, and we're still not pulling to the rev limiter. So we're just creeping up on everything because it's such a new combination.
They're creeping up. I'd push an old lady into a mud puddle to have a car that had 752 at the wheel.
Once I get a full graph on it, and we see where the boost and spark is, then we can make a real determination on it.
$773.
Ford next, Mustang, and Mike over at Arrington and the boys, they better have their big boy pants on because this thing's making some power.
$868.
Damn.
So far, I'm winning.
Fuel system support, 1,000 all day.
That's how we do it, brother.
If we don't win after all of this like scheming, I'm gonna feel like an idiot.
No other car has a freaking chance.
We got him! Didn't we? Hell yeah, done! That's a real burnout from the Mopar. We better be worried. Just gonna see how things play out. But now my street racer hat is on. Woo!
He said 2 tenths.
Oh, it's 2 seconds.
Oh, he's the autocross guy.
I try to have a moment.
Three huge names in late model performance built these pony cars, and we want to give them the stage they deserve. That's why we loaded up and shipped all 3 cars to Muscle Cars at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the final showdown in autocross, 60-0 braking, quarter-mile drag racing, and finally the chassis dyno.
We brought the Mustang, the Camaro, and the Challenger out here to Las Vegas Motor Speedway to debut them at Muscle Cars at the Strip.
And it's been a ton of fun being a part of the respective builds, even breaking a few parts, myself included, but all three teams did it on a $10,000 budget.
And I know we're all looking forward to seeing how fast these cars actually are, and that makes the points breakdown crucial. We're starting off at Autocross. Whichever car has the fastest lap time is going to get 2 points, and whichever car comes in second, one of you guys, will get 1 point. And then we go to 60-0 braking. Whichever car can stop in the shortest distance is going to get a single point.
Well, then we actually get to have some fun. We're going to go to the drag strip. Fastest CT, of course, will give the 2 points to the Camaro, and then second fastest CT, one of these guys can fight over that. Then we go to the Dyno, and if you win the drag strip, of course, you're going to probably win the Dyno, but whoever does get it is going to get that single point.
So the Challenger.
Yeah, hey, you know, these guys can say whatever they want, but the Mustang's gonna hand them their asses. But all three cars are gonna get beat on like they owe us money. And that means they're gonna get dirty and they're gonna look way uglier by the end of the weekend than they do right now. So let's take a look at all three.
Do you really think that you're gonna beat either one of us, or let alone you beat me?
Easily.
Everybody's gonna be looking at the Challenger right now.
Handily.
Are you kidding me?
We own all of this.
The building phase is done, and now it's time to see which team and which brand is going to come out on top. Thanks to Procharger, these pony cars are making some serious horsepower. With D1Xs on the Challenger and the Camaro, and a P1X on the Mustang, there's more than 800 horsepower at the rear wheels available per car. Each builder got a $10,000 Summit Racing budget to put into their 2019 pony car. Team Mustang stuck with a stock Coyote engine and spent $9,914 of their Summit budget on upgraded suspension components. Team Challenger spent $9,995 of their $10,000 budget and split it between suspension for the Dodge and a number of engine internals for the Hemi. And finally, Team Camaro spent $9,637 of their budget and put the majority of that money into their LT1 engine, along with a few suspension mods to try and stand a chance in the Autocross. It's time to get to business and start putting each car through the ringer. First up is Autocross.
To make sure that all three of our muscle cars get a fair shake on the Autocross course, we needed to make sure that we had somebody experienced. We chose Johnny O'Connell. Johnny O'Connell is Team Toyo's professional driver that's going to be piloting all three pony cars for the competition. Johnny O is a four-time 24 Hours of Le Mans champion and has 41 wins with Corvette racing under his belt, as well as 22 wins in Cadillacs in World Challenge. So, I mean, what are you expecting as you wheel them around the race course?
Well, your initial impression, whenever you get like a high horsepower car like we're going to be in, I'm going to have to be really small with my hands, precise, tiny with my feet, you know, as little input as possible. And so one of the biggest challenges for these guys is going to be able to how to get all that horsepower down to the ground.
Racing Birds is putting on the AutoX event at Muscle Cars at the Strip. We'll be using their course and their timing equipment to make sure we get exact times for all three cars. Because the Camaro is the returning champion from Season 1, Vengeance is up first. All right, well, we're here. I'm pretty confident of the build and the power and the components, but Vengeance Racing's known for going straight. Not left and right. You know, how do you feel about this?
You know, you're absolutely right. We're definitely straight line guys and street car guys, so this is a little new for us. I feel like we built a great car, and with a great driver, we'll do well.
Now let's get it on the track.
Let's do it. We went from the 3.5 to the 4-inch and pulled about 4
Oh, that's right. You pulled the pulley too. Yeah, this one corner's giving him a little bit of a fit. But again, that's just a driver getting used to a car and getting used to a track. How'd it feel, Johnny?
Guys, good beginning. But you can see in this corner right here, way too much understeer. Okay, we got to get the front working a little bit better in the middle of the corners. Right now, we've got so much traction control and assist from the computer. So if we could loosen up the traction control so I can get a little bit more rotation, there's a ton of time there.
We need to turn all that off and let you use your skill and play with the car. The Camaro sets the bar at a 42.844, but the day's just getting started.
Okay, he's getting after it now. There you go. Let her eat, let her eat, let her eat.
He lost time in this first one.
Yeah, I think so. And on Autocross, autocross, a lot of times the lap will look slow and it's really fast because it's super smooth. Come on, baby, come on. Yes! Woo! First run, 42.7, so we're already ahead. Yeah. Suck it, Camaro guys. And there it is, Mustang to the front as everyone expected. I think that's the last time the Camaro is gonna see the top of the leaderboard. So what's your initial impression after driving the Mustang?
Some really good things about it. I love the feel of the steering and the brake pedal. The brake pedal's got a great feel to it. But right now my biggest problem is controlling the power. It enters the corner very well, but then it washes.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
It's friggin' hot and loud. It sounds like a drag strip. I don't know, after watching the other ones, it seems like he's still holding back a little bit. I mean, I could be wrong, but from the way it sounds. Oh, there it is. There it is. Number one right here. Number one, 42.17.
No. Realize that was only his third lap ever in that car.
Exactly, and we're number one.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, starting out, you guys are the closest to the sweet spot.
Surprise! Didn't think this was a Mopar game, did ya? Just like I've been telling you all along, it looks like this quote-unquote whale is a bit more nimble than everyone gave it credit for. Time for the other teams to try and catch up to our 42.179.
Thinking tires are going to be part of this because there's a very similar feel to what you guys had and what the Mustang had, which was a nice mid-corner grip, but the drivability, good job.
Get it!
This is fast.
Yeah, but there's a problem.
The cone.
The cone.
Yeah.
41.
2 seconds, 2/10.
So still a 42.4.
Seconds.
No, he said 2/10.
No, it's 2 seconds.
He's the autocross guy.
I'm
I'm telling
telling you.
you. Go find the out. Is it 2 seconds?
It is 2 seconds. Thank you very much.
2 full seconds.
Damn!
So that was a 44.
Remember.
Our last run that round would have kicked the Mustang from second, but the cone penalty of 2 seconds left us with our second fastest lap, and we're still at the bottom.
Falling on his face, though.
Knocking it in the dirt. Something's wrong.
Okay.
Johnny stopped the car after feeling something break. We can't see anything, and it looks like the Challenger can roll off under its own power. We didn't put up a new time, but we still have the lead. Hopefully it holds.
Now's our chance to take the lead. We've made some simple tweaks to the suspension, and with Johnny getting used to the track, we've got a pretty good chance. Hey, right, baby. There we go.
41.2. So that's the fastest run so far, right?
It is, yes.
Okay. And we didn't even know we were going to win the autocross.
I know. Oh, we're winning everything. Are you kidding me? Johnny's feeling the car, and our adjustability with power and suspension are dead on. Every time we run, we're on top. I do a lot of autocross. I am heavily involved in the pro touring world, and I can tell you that the key to going fast around the autocross is suspension. Now, sure, you got a great Toyo tire, that suspension can take full advantage of it, but you don't need the big horsepower, and we've seen that because we've had to limit it in the Mustang, and with the stronger links and all of that, again, amazing adjustability, our Steeda suspension has really come through on the Mustang. But it's not just us, it's also the Camaro and the Mopar, who've got aftermarket parts that are making adjustability and suspension changes a breeze.
It's 2 seconds faster to the half.
Put it on the trailer. 41,464.
Just mark it up real quick.
41.2.
Oh.
41.4. It's for your Camaro guys. That's slower than.
Oh, shit.
Damn it, we're talking shit.
I thought they hit a cone on the floor.
It's all right. But you're getting close. But hey, you get some bonus points for trying.
Hey.
It leaves us 2/10 off of the lead. They ran a 227. We're at 461. We need 2/10.
Johnny's still saying that he felt something break, but we've checked the car over and we don't think anything's wrong. We've fallen a little behind, so we're taking the car back out and hopefully everything's okay. As long as you can get around there before the clock turns 33 seconds, and it looks like, okay, so it's coming in. 40.9! That's the first car into the 40s! No other car has a freaking chance. Everybody thought, oh, it's a whale, it's such a boat. Well, guess what? 40.99. Bring it on, other cars. Broken? No. Nothing is wrong with it. Traction control is on 100%, and that time right there, 40.999 with another 9 probably, puts us in first place. It doesn't matter, puts us in first place.
We've got some reaction from Johnny. We can make even more improvements on the car. He's liked where we're going with it, but now it's one last thing. We're gonna throw some camber in the car so we can sharpen the turn in. I think it's gonna be the right choice.
Best lap of the day, 40.62.
We came, we saw, we kicked their ass.
We've been one step behind the Mustang and, surprisingly, the Challenger all day. But with that last run, we're finally on top. The track is winding down, and we're being told it's last call. Each team has one last chance to get their best time.
But right now we're in second place. We still got a point right now, potentially 1 point. But the Mustang, I mean, we're all pretty close. All the cars are really close. And that just proves that every single builder knows what they're doing. When you have consistency like this and speed and power and it's working.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see how you guys are adjusting your cars and making them, you know, what we need to do to get around the track better, faster, and more control.
You know, even though we're in the lead, we got one more session to go. The other cars are fast. We're all in a tight group, so we're going to go ahead and go back out. And maybe, you know, Johnny getting some more seat time and a little bit more rubber on the track will go a little bit faster than we just did. Johnny, give it down.
Come on, baby.
39. This could be it. No. Oh, a little slippy there.
Yo, he's on track.
He's coming in.
He's on track. Something's about to happen. Go.
Come on. Hunt.
Come on, Johnny.
Hunt.
Here's the end of the Mustang right here.
You got it. Go, baby, go. Woo! Yeah. 43.74. Everybody else, go home.
So we've had to make a lot of adjustments. We've had to fine tune the traction control. Where? All right, so Johnny got a cone on that last one. The 43.7 is not going to count. That's going to go to a 42.37. But we're still holding it at a 46. We'll just hope that's enough to get the back. and the schedule says 3 o'clock. We're going back out.
Honestly, dude.
That's what the itinerary said.
Subject to change. It's also in plan.
Yeah, once you guys get ahead, it changes.
Every time.
We're comparing notes.
Okay, I'll wait. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Car on the property today from all of the autocrossers and us. Unfortunately, we're not in control of our driver and he hit a cone. So we're going to pass the win to you.
But thank you.
And we're going to take a very close second.
We'll take our 2 points. You can have your one.
I'll take it.
I have to tell you though, there is one thing about this that scares me.
The Challenger.
I know Mike. I know him really well. And if he'd have won this, it would have been the best thing for all of us. Because right now,
he's pissed.
He's pissed.
Yeah.
And see that? That smile? That's the dangerous
That's
smile. When he gets that little evil grin on his face.
We need to get all the times together and divvy out the points. So let's get all the slips. We already know who won, but we got to go over the exact times.
40.452.
He won.
There was no cone. There was no cone.
He's saying no cone.
I want to roll tape, and there was no cone.
Hit any cones. When we were running in all those runs, there was some cones here and there from the other guys. But I'd have known if I hit a cone.
He's saying the cone was already down, so we need to find a way to refute that.
Go to the tape. Roll tape.
Now it's time for 60 to 0 braking. Whichever one of the 3 cars can stop in the shortest distance from 60 miles per hour down to 0 is going to get 1 point. All 3 cars are equipped with factory Brembo brakes, but we upgraded the pads to the Hawk DTC 30 brake pads. They're a great middle run. They're not too aggressive. They're not too soft. They give great pedal feel, and they have a huge temperature range from 100 degrees all the way up to 1200 degrees. They're going to work great and way better than a factory pad. And we're going to run the cars along that far wall to get up to speed, and then on that back straight they're going to get up to 60 miles per hour, hit the brakes, and we're going to see which one stops in the shortest distance. The Camaro had the quickest stopping time of the first round with a distance of 93 feet and 2 inches. In the second round, the Mustang took the lead with an impressive 91 feet flat. But out of nowhere, after 103 feet and 7-inch stop, the Challenger killed its ABS on the last round and pulled a 78 feet and 1-inch stopping distance and the win out of its hat. Johnny was pretty happy about that stop.
With our day's results tallied up, the Mustang had 2 points for fastest lap in Autocross, and the Camaro and Challenger were tied at 1 point each, with the second quickest lap on the Autocross going to the Camaro and the shortest braking distance going to the Challenger. But as we started packing up for the day, Ron took a second look at the rules, and let's just say he wasn't happy.
Autocross winner will be determined by the average of the 3 fastest lap times of the day. This was the final rule revision that was sent to us.
Not only that, they got more runs than we did, and according to Autocross, the guy who runs the Autocross, we should have been allowed the same amount of runs.
So not only we get shortchanged, the rules are changed to accommodate.
That says that.
Well, the rulebook just says all day. You have all day, and then we win.
Well, the rulebook says that crew and cast leave at 6:30.
Yeah.
But
that's the filming schedule.
That's the filming schedule, not the rulebook.
Oh, okay. So we're not going to film the racing.
Well, that's what we were just.
We're gonna go ahead and load up and head home.
Dude, I'm saying the same thing. So
No, not even this. I'm back to the Autocross.
I know.
Did you? No, you're laughing. Did you read the rules? Winner will be determined by the average of the 3 fastest laps of the day.
Okay.
Final rules, but we went off of the single fastest pass of the day.
Okay. I don't know. That was what everybody was saying we were doing from the get-go of the Autocross. So I don't know.
I just went by the rules. This ain't a f***ing competition. It's bullshit. We're done. Unless something gets figured out, we're f***ing done. Huh? I'm gonna give them a few minutes to figure something out, and I'm loading the trailer. I don't play these games.
The production team met with the competitors to try and straighten out the controversy. After a review of the rules, it was determined that while the Autocross scoring was announced as a fastest lap winner in the morning drivers' meeting, rather than an average of the fastest 3 laps, the official Horsepower Wars rules were never changed in writing. Because of this, the producers and competitors made the difficult decision together to reverse the Autocross results.
All right, here's the deal. It's day 2. We're at the strip, and the Camaro already kicked everybody's butt on the Autocross. We took the 2 points, and out of nowhere, the Challenger took the brake testing. But here's the deal. Team Camaro and Vintage Racing, we do one thing. We go fast in a straight line, and that's about to happen. The rules here are simple. Fastest ET of the day wins 2 points, and second fastest ET gets 1 point. It's still possible for anyone to win, but with the Challenger and Camaro competing for first place at 2 points each, the Mustang has to win both the drag strip and the dyno to have a chance to win overall.
Ass. So we pulled a bunch of power out of that thing for first gear, and you could see it left like a rental car, just so we knew we wouldn't spin the tires. Mission accomplished, but now we need to feed it more because that was way too little.
Basically seeing what the car would do, gathering data, driver, tuner, you know, they've gotten together and seen what they want to do to the car. I think you're going to see a significant difference in the way he'll attack the 60-foot and the launch. As far as I'm concerned, we're going to gather data, make another run, sit back and see if these guys can chase us. It's making great power. It's putting it on the ground. The Toyos are doing a great job of getting the power on the ground, which is tough because it's making a lot of it. This is the fun part, man. The build's over. It's the fun part now.
This one's going to be about Challenger domination. No, I don't know. I hope it's about Challenger domination, but in reality, all the cars got tune-up changes, and they all should be faster, so I'm hoping the Challenger's way faster. She wouldn't even do a burnout very well. She's not happy at all. Back to the pits for the Dodge. It looks like we're having trouble turning off traction control, and something isn't adding up because we were hoping for a much faster pass out of the Challenger. There we go. Camaro's the first car to do an actual burnout.
Everything's shifted clean. We're gonna go look at some data, see if we can make some changes, turn it up a little bit. But unfortunately, we'll start fighting the weather here soon. You know how that is. Las Vegas, beautiful Vegas.
to dry heat. We're good. We're gonna make a few more changes. I think we can get an eye out of it today, just depending on weather, DA, and driver. A couple little factors, but we're honing it in. We've definitely got some left on the table, but I don't know if we're even going to use it. We got the Dyno competition tomorrow, and these boys are so far behind, it might not be worth running our car much longer. I mean, we've got the field covered.
So after the second run, admittedly, the Mustang and the Challenger struggling a little bit, but this Camaro is a rocket ship. And I want to talk about the rear tires because honestly, a lot of us were on the starting line and we were blown away because none of the cars have spun at all, and this thing went 170 flat and 60 foot with the Toyo TQ on the back.
I think James clicked 1080, might have gone a little bit faster.
64, buddy.
64, all right, so.
64.
So he's creeping up.
We got a fighting chance.
So he's creeping up. We got a tailwind out here now. The weather's cooled off a little bit. DA is actually under 5,000 feet. I think it was like 4,800 a few minutes ago when I checked. So we're watching closely. Hopefully he gets a little bit closer and we got to pull the car back out. I'd love to make another hit and go a little bit faster and better air. So we'll see what the night prevails. Drag strip's 2 full points, and with us winning Autocross, if we can pull this out, we got 4 points, and I think with the other teams splitting the points, there's no way for them to come back. So we'll see. That's why it's important to me to close this deal.
One more, James.
Is that all we get? You only have one more?
I got my finals coming back.
Okay, that's
okay, this is your last pair
Tell
coming?
the Camaro.
How long do I have?
Tell the Camaro.
Oh, this is cool.
Hold
on. Ron's got something. I want to hear.
James, I'll go on your move.
Oh, wait, you're going to give us...
Oh,
I'll give you the move.
Chase the race.
Dude, that...
Launched the Camaro with the fastest 60 foot of the competition, but it didn't matter because before the 330 mark, the trans wouldn't shift into 4th gear, ending the Mustang.
He gave more than just the move. He gave like two in the jump. Gave him a car.
Hey boys, let's see. Hell of a job. We're here later than anticipated.
Oh yeah.
But we did exactly what we came to do. We went to California, we kicked ass on the build. We came to Las Vegas and we kicked ass in the Autocross. We kicked ass in drag racing. Well, we did. We just built a car that was capable of autocrossing, thanks to Johnny O'Connell.
Yes.
But epic weekend, and even though we've already won, we're going to go win the Dyno competition tomorrow as well.
Yeah. So, I'll celebrate, baby. Let's go. Let's drink.
Vegas.
It's like dead on the same. It just barely creeped up right at the tip.
Yeah, it didn't sound good up top.
No, it wouldn't.
375.
Whatever happened.
All right, so we are in our happy place. I mean, this is what these guys do. We've had a great weekend so far, but Ron, what are we going to see?
Well, we're going to see what we do. Win. Beat you to it.
You want to go fast? Go see these guys. I don't know what else to say. I mean, just go buy your car, get a wad of money, go hear Ron, and then go kick everybody's ass.
That's what we do.
All right, guys, on behalf of Dennis, Chad, and myself, present you with this trophy as champions.
Hell yeah.
Season 2 of Pony Wars, 2019 Camaro SX.
Baby. Yeah. Champs are here.
Good job. You guys did awesome. And just to recap the points, you guys took first at Autocross, so that's 2, it was awesome. You guys also took first at the drag strip, so that's another 2 points. And you just clinched the last point of the competition on the Dyno with 950 horsepower to the rear tire. That is awesome. Challenger came in second, won at Autocross, 1 point, 60 to 0. The Mustang came in last.
And that was impressive with the Challenger.
It was impressive. 60 to 0 did awesome Autocross, and I don't think anybody saw that coming.
No.
But overall, I mean, how do you guys feel?
We feel great, man. It's a huge opportunity, extremely fortunate, and taking home the W just makes it all worth all the work and time we put into it. So thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, buddy.
Hold on.